Welcome back to another off-centered bi-weekly episode with the four flippin' horsemen of the hobby apocalypse. Boys, how we doing this week?
Good.
God, I feel like shit.
Ready for the revolution.
Did you just come back from vacation?
Yeah, I think I picked something up. I don't know. I've got like the sore throat thing happening.
Ebola.
Picked something up. You didn't leave the resort.
I know. Well, you never.
It must
know.
have came from the airport.
He's like,
The airport got me.
Airplane.
The airport got me.
At least you got back.
Yeah. Well, we had to fight off the cartel and steal their plane. But that's what we had to do. You know, look. I mean, sometimes life throws curveballs, and you got to be able to hit it, like Ohtani.
I thought you were going to do something else with the balls term.
With the balls, I could have gone a different direction with the balls. I believe this picture is AI. Steve would have a Funko Pop tattoo. Fair enough. Talking about my war zone thumbnail. Thanks to Brendan Ryan. Shout out Brendan Ryan for that one.
I haven't seen it.
I put pitchforks and torches in our hands on mine.
Oh, did you? Yeah, you went full blown hobby apocalypse. Well, that was the whole like topic of the week. Mike Moynihan made a video that triggered everybody. Is that how it happened?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Hey, those are good talking points. What's up? I think this is Michael Stone. What's up, gents? Good evening, collectors. We got the Pick Six podcast, Pick Six cards.
What up?
We're ready.
Steve, you didn't go to the Philly show, did you, last weekend?
I did not.
Oh, I heard it was crazy.
Every show.
Mr. Mangini. Got Eric in here, Mr. Mangini. Look at
Pick
this.
Six cards. Let's get shucked tonight. Me and Pick Six know what's coming, and it's the New Orleans Saints. They are coming, and no one's going to know until it comes. It's going to be September, October, November, and people are just going to be like, "How did I miss this?" And then I'm going to refer back to videos I was making in December, January of the second coming.
Look at Mangini's still here. I'm actually in one of my next videos. I'll probably, and by the time my next video comes out, it's already old. But one of the best things that I've seen on YouTube lately that I thought was funny and entertaining was their awards. That awards, whatever it was, that Mangini had a small panel and they gave out some awards. I think Neo won one.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, I did see
Neo
that.
won the award for getting news out the quickest or something.
Did you get your award yet, Neil? It's supposed to be in the mail.
Yeah. Maybe he's going to give it to me in person at the National.
Ooh. So is that right, Mr. Mangini? You're handing out trophies at the National, or are you just giving him one of your Mangini collection cards? That's a prize in itself.
I was just cracking up, especially when they were talking
the
about
biggest
the
breaking
BJJ
news
stuff.
is that Steve posted 2 videos since our last live.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
He even did the AI thumbnail thing.
I'm kind of thinking maybe a video
creator now.
I'm kind of thinking I'm gonna try to do a video a week.
Don't hurt yourself. I love
you're doing great on them too. They're entertaining.
Steve's like, that AI thumbnail doesn't look like you, Dustin. And then I watch Steve go throw up his AI thumbnail. I'm like, okay, dude.
My first AI thumbnail looked like me. Well, what happens is it looks like me at first, and then the more changes I make to like the dog and stuff, it starts changing me, and I'm like, no, I'll be like, change the guy back to normal, and
I do the same thing. I sent another picture. I'm like, that picture doesn't look like me. Change it back to change it to the. Whose thumbnails? Oh, Village People. Is that the pitchforks? Neos? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I don't know.
We got Eric in the house, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. It's all crashing down. According to this week's content, it's a massive revolt. It's such a massive revolt that shows are selling out completely. We did 400 and something million of sales on eBay or through online in February, which is the shortest month of the year. It's never been hotter ever.
I was in Shipshewana, and that show was freaking insane.
I don't watch a whole lot of content right now, but I did watch that video that Mike put out. I think I listened to it actually on the way home from work. It was really late, so maybe my take from it is a little skewed, but I felt like his revolt was more targeted towards the grading part of the hobby as opposed to the hobby in general. I felt like it was more of a, and a lot of his video was real to me. What I remember was more about the grading companies and things like that. I know he talked about breaking and stuff a little bit too, but I think that he said that there was, that's still a thing where there's a place for it. But
Dustin is your new PSA code, revolt.
Yeah, they asked me if I wanted to change it, and I was like, let's just keep it consistent. Let's not move it to revolt.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Let's see if we can.
We're. I mean, are we at the point that we're near? I mean, I know obviously the height and value of things are COVID level at this point. There's some things that still haven't peaked, but a lot of things have. And we've seen a lot of cards surface that we're not used to ever seeing surface because we're at a peak and people are willing to sell to get out. But there's always somebody willing to buy to get in, especially now because we're in a new phase of the hobby. But are we getting to the point where almost everything is valuable again? Because it feels like almost
base cards haven't gone crazy.
I'll be honest, I was trying to do my sports cards are falling video, and I struggled to find stuff, even like obvious stuff. It was like I had to choose players that were just like way off the beaten path. I had to go John Morant.
People are really pivoting. So
yeah, I mean, I tried to find vintage guys. I couldn't find it. Guys, I made a purchase today. You actually, Ham, you just said like people are spending crazy money on stuff. I didn't pay $4,500. I worked this down to $3,500. Okay. But yeah, basically just, wanted a big breeze card. I like the fact that this is 2017. It's the Mahomes rookie year. It's right now, at least it's pop 1 PSA.
Why didn't you just DM him and buy that? That's Elite Co 3.
Is it really?
Yeah, Cardboard Futures is Elite Co. I'm almost proud of it.
That's
I didn't know it was Elite Co. Well, he worked with me on it. Well, even though it's Elite Co, I'd rather the thing go through eBay. I'd rather just do.
If you can't trust Elite Co,
Elite Co and a PSA 10 and a newer holder.
It could be
you get a different coupon
actually
code.
now that you say this, I thought I saw this card somewhere and it was in one of his recent videos.
Dude, if this said Neo Cards and Comics, I'd go through eBay. I'm not fucking around with these people. All right. If this said Michael Ham and fish cards and fishing,
it says MJH Productions on.
It's going through eBay. Oh man, well I got to reach out to him now and say like.
You mean you don't trust the PSA label to back you?
What do you mean?
Why do you need to go through eBay? It's a Psa holder.
Yeah, it's already locked in.
The PSA holder is fine. I just don't.
He's scared somebody might not send the item.
They might not send it. He's already shipped it, so I think we're good. In case Elite Co watches this and is like, "That son of a gun," I'm not selling to him. Yeah. So, but anyway, yes, Sports Card Dad, Drew Brees purchase here. Big purchase for me anyway.
That's a big purchase, yeah,
for me. Thank you.
Here's my big PC purchase. That
and that's your second big purchase in like 2 weeks, isn't it?
Got the
so we've also got we got the Tyler Shutt gold. I can't afford. You know what's hilarious? The Tyler Shutt gold is 3 times, maybe 4 times the amount of this Drew Brees gold.
It's a lot of baked in wins,
and it's not even in a. It's not even in a 10. I mean, it's just like a raw copy.
Yeah. Nia, you had some really good pickups at your show. You did really good with what you got.
Thank you, Mr. Ham.
Yeah, the direction you went with that was very good.
The Myles Garrett gold PSA 10 that's pop 5 sold for $5,000 in December. And I understand that 17 is Myles Garrett's rookie, but I was still like, damn, he's a defensive end.
Gold,
I mean,
man.
He's awesome, but I mean, just to kind of give some context on where some of these cards are selling.
I mean, that's a rookie gold of like the best defensive player in the league.
I feel like I know Black.
He's the all-time sack leader,
but man.
Well, yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got an extra game to get it. It's like an asterisk sack leader. I mean, Michael Strahan doesn't have like what? I mean, would someone pay $5,000 for Michael Strahan?
Yeah, but I think he tied Strahan's in the regular schedule. He just beat it in the extra game.
Hey, didn't they put an asterisk by Strahan's anyway because Brett Favre fell down for him?
Yeah, Favre basically rolled.
Yeah, he a giver. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But my point is, it's a defensive end. Yeah, everybody's like, "Oh, football cards. It's got to be, it's got to be a quarterback. It's quarterback or bust." We got somebody that spent 5 G's on a Myles Garrett Gold Prism. It's a fantastic card. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Man, what's up with all the moves in the NFL this year? There are people going everywhere.
Free agency, man, money.
Man, yeah, you're lucky you let go of Tua, and I don't know what the hell the Falcons are thinking picking him
Did
up.
Kyler Murray get moved yet?
No, he's not on the team yet.
Our nickel corner, Alontae Taylor, went to the Titans for $20 million a year.
Oh, the numbers I've seen are ridiculous.
What? I mean, I'm glad he got paid, but he can't play like the outside boundary. Like, he is a slot corner, and that is it. He's good. He can blitz, but I mean, if you can't put him, he's not a number one corner. You can't put him outside.
Who are you talking about?
Alontae Taylor, one of our corners that went over to the Titans for $20 million a year.
Let's talk Malik Willis, because I bet you he's probably one of the people in the hobby that have gained some buzz. I think his stuff gained buzz prior, though. I think he gained buzz coming out of last year. People were already kind of like, oh, he's going to sign to be a starter somewhere. And his rookies were probably in the gutter, Sam Darnold style. Probably not that low, but, you know.
They're still in the gutter. They're just on the edge of the gutter. They're like on the top of it.
You know, not much confidence in them.
Yeah, well, I mean,
and now they're probably got some inflation due to free agency and hype.
I mean, I think Kyler probably has the biggest bump right now going on with him, and he hasn't even gone anywhere yet.
He would, but the thing about Kyler is we kind of know what kind of quarterback he is.
I think if you put him on a different team, you get a different guy.
I don't think so.
I think capability-wise,
he's been good. It's not like he's been bad. He's been good. He's been hurt.
Yeah, we'll see. You know how it is. Sometimes
a
team makes a difference. Unless you're
Sam
Darnold.
Good, he's been hurt. I mean, the Vikings have a better offense. They probably have a better offensive coach because Arizona's gone through a couple coaches with. But, I mean, when Kingsbury was in Arizona, they ran a lot of plays through a lot of passes.
Yeah.
I mean, we know Kyler has talent and he can be an exciting player and make big plays. Got a good arm. I mean, we've seen him be successful. So I don't think his cards have fallen off, you know, to where they become super affordable. Like
Does he go to Miami? Does he go to Miami?
Who?
Kyler Murray.
Kyler?
Yeah.
They just signed Malik Willis.
People are signing 10 different people at this point. It doesn't even
matter. Not for the money that they signed.
Kyler's probably going to end up on the Vikings.
I mean, there's not a lot of teams left.
Didn't Gino go back to the Jets?
Yeah.
So then it's like,
and Kyler can sign for the league minimum because the Cardinals are paying him.
Yeah. What are the Jets doing?
That's what I was getting at with Miami.
So also, as far as affecting young quarterback cards, because to relate some of these free agency moves to the card market, how about Tua? And I'm not talking about Tua cards. Will Tua cards negatively impact Penix cards? Penix still had a little bit of hype being in the draft class not long ago, you know, being more injured, still not playing a lot, but being the starting quarterback in Atlanta now, does Tua come in there and be the starter? Is Penix the starter?
I think they're all the starter. I think they'll start each quarter of the season, and whoever's the best quarterback gets to start the final quarter.
And will people gain any sort of confidence in Tua with the same argument of, oh, well, he's going to a new team? But we've seen Tua in a good offense, surrounded by awesome players,
the best receivers, and running backs.
Running backs, yeah. He's already had a top team and wasn't.
I don't think Tua will ever be in an offense as good as the team from 2 or 3 seasons ago with Tyreek and Achane. When they put up how many they score on Denver that year? 70 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was his best team by far. So a lot of the players moving around. Mike Evans went to the 49ers, so that tells me what he feels about our team. So even though we made a few moves,
he just wanted that last payday. I mean, they gave him $20 million a year. That's tremendous.
It's guaranteed $16 million, but he pays higher taxes over there. There's no tax in the state of Florida.
Yeah,
but again, I think he has a better chance to win over there than over here. We're trying to rebuild half the damn team.
Yeah,
that team's built to win over there already, and they might just be a Mike Evans short of being able to win.
Yeah, well, Mike Evans has got a year or two probably left in his career if he's even healthy, because he was beat up this year and the year before, hamstring problems. But he's been great. But he is in the twilight of his career.
Yeah, I just know when he wasn't playing for us because he was injured, we struggled with all the wide receivers that we supposedly have that are good. So that doesn't tell me much about anything.
Well,
yeah,
if,
you
if
lost,
Luka
you also
just
lost your rookie. He went down too. So it's like,
I mean, we had a horrible injury season with the players on the team, but you got to step up. This next man up, and
like Luka just couldn't catch the ball.
He stopped catching the ball. He could, and then he stopped.
I mean,
it's almost like he got so good in his head. Yeah, he got so good in his head, his hand stopped working.
Yeah, we got movement to the Saints. Do you like the Etienne signing?
I like all of it, man.
I know you're a Kamara homer.
We got an inside. We got Edwards from the Bills, a guard. I know it sounds like it's not a sexy pickup, but we badly needed good guard play. So I'm happy about that one. We got one of the best punters in the league from the Vikings. Our punter sucked, and somehow Mickey Loomis got a higher draft pick, sending him like who did he send him to? I don't know. Anyway, someone traded us for like the worst punter in football. Like, okay, ETN is interesting. We need more of a running attack. Like our run game hasn't been good. Kamara doesn't have that same burst, and he's also a liability in pass protetion. Like
I want to comment on Sanderson to Orr's Tua comment real quick.
Yeah, Eric.
I don't know how much the head trauma plays into like his decision making and things like that. I don't think he has a fear though, because if you watch Tua play, he still does stupid stuff, like tries to run over defensive players.
He probably does have the brain problem.
I'm not talking about throwing the ball. I'm talking about scrambling and trying to run people over instead of going out of bounds and things like that, lowering his head when he's going into somebody. So his last concussion was from him knocking himself out, trying to run over a linebacker and lowering his head. He didn't even take the hit. He delivered the hit. So I don't think it's much of a fear. But I'm not saying that he doesn't have some head trauma that's, maybe slowed his motor skills or things a little bit like that. Problem is he was never mobile and he never had a strong arm. So our offensive line was shaky. He was accurate. He was good at running a system, and he was smart. He was a good decision maker, didn't turn the ball over a lot. But when the turnover started coming is when his play really fell off.
He stopped being Brad Johnson. Gotcha. Busted chestnut. That's a funny comment.
Yeah, they got to work out the what is it, the electricity, or whatever, the utility company next to the stadium. Yeah, I've seen all the memes where it's like Mike Evans' hamstring, and it's like meat coming off of like a drumstick.
He's had hamstring issues for like 5 years in a row.
The other thing is about the head trauma thing is like, and this is it's a bad thing. It's not a good thing, but for years and years and years before concussion and head trauma was really focused on by the NFL, players played with concussions and through concussions and had multiple concussions and played all season. And it never really, you never looked at somebody and been like, oh man, they're off because they've had head trauma or they struggle really, like Troy Aikman. I'm sure he's a big, probably had a ton of concussions that he's played through, but it never really seemed to.
Oh yeah. He had a lot of concussions.
Play.
He had 12 in 1 year.
Yeah. Montana had some rough ones. I remember when Montana, I think, had a bad one from a hit from a guy. I might be mistaken. Was there a Jim Burt on the New York Giants defensive tackle that injured Montana with
Montana
a bad
took
concussion
some freaking blows, man.
I can't remember. It's way back. I was young. Like Montana. I was young. It might have been in the mid '80s. So I'm really trying to. I just remember Montana really taking a bad hit and having a really bad concussion, and I think it was from a guy named Jim Burt or something on the Giants.
Yeah, there was a video I saw probably 2 weeks ago where there was just hits that Joe Montana took for like 8 years in a row, and it was just like, dear Lord, I mean, half of that shit, none of us are getting up. Like we're laying down and not getting up.
Well, Chris Olave was a red flag, right? Chris Olave was a red flag this year. They thought one more concussion and his career is over. And he probably had one of the best seasons of his career with the Saints with inconsistent quarterback play.
Yeah, run faster. You don't get hit.
Well, the inconsistency is over, my friends.
Listen, our division's up for grabs, in my opinion.
Yeah,
like right now.
That's partly why I'm so confident, because there's just not a dominant team in the division. It's like, all right. Neo, do you have someone coming on from CGC to discuss their current or their new price increases?
No, not yet. Anyway, I mean, I haven't really tried.
Yeah.
There's not a lot going on over there. Like, there's not. I don't know if there's an interesting conversation to be had.
Yeah,
Well, there you have it. Not interesting enough for an interview at this point. I mean, look, they're not doing a lot on the sports card side. So unless you're going to talk about TCG.
I'm going down to the beach tower again, and I'm going to try to throw one slab from each grading company off the top this time instead of just the PSA one. Because when I went down there to do the PSA one, I was trying to break that PSA slab. Like it wasn't remember that video series became me versus the PSA slab. Everything I did to it, it just kept bouncing back and never anything happened to it. So it wasn't like, hey, I'm going down here to test the durability of a PSA slab. I'm like, I'm going down here to try to break this thing. Right. It was a rivalry. But now I'm just going to go down there and see how each grading company slabs fare off being thrown off the tower. So that would be one of my next coming up videos. And then somebody said, isn't buying quarterbacks is getting boring? Yeah. There's a handful of things in the hobby that I think are getting boring that, again, I'm going to probably put into a video. More along the content lines, though.
Oh, come on, Steve. That's
come
not
on.
fair.
It's got nothing. It's not going to be about you. No, I'm just scrolling Instagram. I'm just scrolling Instagram, and I find myself where I'm to the point to where I just want to kind of unfollow some people because I'm tired of just seeing their face on Instagram. It's the same people doing the same thing, and it's not necessarily content related as much as it is the bigger names in the industry. None of them are entertaining.
You just don't like people's faces.
No, I'm not just saying, and I'm not saying that I'm not saying I'm entertaining or anything at all.
You have any people in mind specifically?
Yeah, name a name. We want a name.
Name a name.
Okay, so the one when I was scrolling IG that I was like, I'm tired of looking at his face was Card Collector 2.
Damn.
Oh yeah,
I have nothing. Look, I have nothing personal against him. I don't even know him.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. There's something about.
I don't even know him. It's nothing personal against him. I'm scrolling my Instagram and it pops up and it says, "Oh, we hit another monster card," and I'm like, "Yeah, whatever."
Well, what was the ad?
Yeah, whatever. I don't really care enough to even like stop and watch.
So what was the thing that Topps put out the other day about this husband and wife finally like made the rainbow for one of the Disney cards, and it's a picture of Card Collector 2 and his wife.
Oh yeah,
if you're not in the hobby, you have no idea. But if you're in the hobby, you're like, "What? This is just blatant, and it's annoying." That's what's happening. It's becoming.
But again, this isn't a personal contact or personal attack.
The way they're using again. This is just me, and
this is just me and what I'm.
Yes,
what I enjoy to watch within my content.
We know where the beef is now. It's coming from Steve.
It's just always the same thing. Like
you know what I would like
changing. Like
I like when people used to do like the buy sell stuff. Like I'm buying this to like Steve. That's kind of your bread and butter over like the years. It's kind of like I'm speculating on this. I'm grading it, or I'm like kind of strategy, like card buying and selling strategy. You
always do a great job at it.
That content is like not out there at all. Nope. Like a lot of people just don't talk about it.
It's missing right now. It's completely missing.
I mean, I one thing, and maybe a lot of people have had the same feeling that I've had recently, where I've had this new the wind back in my sails about the hobby and things like that. It kind of goes with me like this every year, but I'm starting to see some people who stopped doing content, just a handful, but enough for me to notice, come back into doing the content. Even like Dakota doing it, and he started back before I started doing videos. So I'm not saying that people are coming back because of me. I'm just saying that I just see people finding a new, either their burnout is over with, or they've gotten other things in place to where they have more free time to start doing content again, or they realize how much they missed it and how much they enjoyed it and things like that. Everybody might have a different reason. Maybe people are trying to make money from it. I don't know, but everybody has a different reason. But I'm just seeing some names that have been out of the game for a little while, come back in and start to do content again, which is fine. I'm not like, so to me, I don't know. Those are people that haven't been gone, right? They've still had, their love for the hobby, and they've just been doing what they've been doing. They just kind of been doing it off camera.
What do we refer to this rush and this rise that we're in now? We had the COVID bump, what is this bump called? Is this the Kevin O'Leary bump? Like, where are we going with this? Because we're on a hype train. Like, we're in a hype train.
Credit card
Logan Paul's, all the stuff. How many people are now having a live stream for one of the auctions going off every week, multiple times?
I think we found our answer right here from Swagglehouse. I sold my comics for BAM cards. Smart move. I think it's pretty obvious that the comic book folks are getting into trading cards, and it's pushing the prices up on everything. All jokes aside, good for the NBA that BAM scored 83 points. Or is it a sign that the NBA really sucks that much that it's BAM?
I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's kind of a one-off, right? Do you know who the all-time leading receiver is for yards in an NFL football game?
Total yards in one game?
Total receiving yards in one game.
Isn't a guy from the Titans?
If it's still the same guy, to me, I remember when it was Willie Flipper Anderson.
Oh yeah,
the Rams. For the Rams. But
Rams, yeah.
But do we talk about him now?
Nope.
We don't even know his name.
I remember it was a few years back when BAM had a moment when BAM's rookie cards. You remember like going back a few years ago when all the basketball cards were hot? BAM's cards had a moment.
Yeah. But I mean, here's the thing too, is like, how come we haven't seen anybody enter this space that's new? Now, I understand you can't do anything with the licenses, but you can still do something potentially like what Gas does. Nobody's done that. Technology-wise with product, nobody's tried to enter the market. The market's going up. And at some point, you get the guys that are just trying to make a buck that might bring something invaluable just to do something or mix something up. And I don't feel like we're getting it. Like, I'm waiting for something new to enter the hobby. We're at a point that it's all the same old players in this space across all the genres and all the types. We haven't seen anybody enter new and really push anybody else in a direction, which usually builds more competition, obviously. Like, this space is really not full of a ton of competition anymore at any direction you go. So like, you need that to make change. And we're at a point right now that no change is going to happen unless somebody comes in with something new and kind of put the shockwave through the entire hobby, basically. Like, I'm just looking around and I just don't see anything super exciting. It's the same old thing. Like, is there anything new that y'all have seen that's really jumped out? The most I've seen is basically something that goes behind a slab that makes it look like a continuation of a card, like a Pokemon card, which they don't even do anything like that for sports yet. And now
you
it's
mean
just
like
a case that goes in
product, like new product innovations?
Yeah,
and stuff?
yeah.
We're
We're struggling as an industry right now with that. Like, we're at a point that for some reason we can't get past it. And I don't know what it is.
It's near impossible for a new company. Like, what niche do you want a new company to come into that doesn't?
Here's the thing. When I'm always complaining about innovation, doing things and stuff like that, go look somewhere else at what somebody else is doing that's in another collectible space that isn't being done the same way here, and then introduce that here. That's usually how it starts. Hey, we're already doing something like this. Let's kind of like reimagine this and then just shift it into this thing and then show up at like a big show or start doing a push of advertising to see how they like it. We don't. I mean,
like, give me like, what do you like? Give an example. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what do
you? For instance, do you know who Phantom Displays is? It's basically a display that you're putting a PSA in or something else that makes it look it's floating in it.
I feel like I've heard the name before. I don't know that I could peg one.
Okay. This is a Phantom display. Okay. Big giant thing, right? You take this piece off the top and you can slide stuff in here. So like a PSA slab, whatever. It's another display piece, right? So it's another case for another case, right? Why do you need another case for another case when this can be a mag that just locks on it? So remember the big bricks that we used to have and we put the screw downs on? Just make this magnetic like an all touch or whatever else. And you don't need the other thing on the in-between. Like,
I mean, realistically, there's probably more innovation opportunities on like the gambling side of the hobby than there is on like.
How is that? The odds are stacked against you. You're built to lose. Somebody else is built to win.
Some sort of like
no
prediction.
innovation.
Oh no! I mean, you could do all like I bet if there was some wacky app that was like prediction markets meets like breaks, you know, like put the two together where it's like, hey, I can bet on which breaker is going to open this, this card, these one of
well,
ones.
again, I like the Topps digital apps because technically I don't have to spend any money to get into it, even though I do spend monies on those. I don't know if y'all saw the Instagram image I posted to y'all where I won a box of Topps Marvel Cosmic Hobby Box.
Oh, you won that
digital
one?
I won that, yeah. So
nice.
They gave me a QR code. I go to the regular Topps redemption page, I put in that code, and now they're sending me a hobby box. So yeah, I put real money in because to get to that product, there's a paywall. But I know that paywall pays back very easily. And I just happened to hit a bigger product. So I probably had $60 invested when I did that to what, a $300 to $330 box that's coming my way. I mean, that was more fun to me to do it that way than go to Target, spend $300 on Topps blasters, and then pray to God I hit anything.
I'm working with a new company. I don't know if you've heard of Chronosio. They've been around for a little bit, but basically it's like their new sponsor of the channel, but like they have like a all-in-one like scanner, like this high-powered scanner where you can scan, tons of cards, hundreds of cards in an hour. So it's like, it's saving you time. Then they have kind of like AI credits you can use to then match it all up, to where you can like very easily post, ship, like everything's really streamlined through eBay, like through this, kind of like, this eBay selling, machine essentially to help you sell more on eBay. That's like, it's somewhat of an innovation to help sellers, that are, just trying to save time as opposed to like listing every card one by one and, all that.
Again, I saw something in another hobby and I'm probably going to do a video on it. And so I don't want to mention too much about it for the spoilers, but it takes away if you can do something in the grading space when we're talking about technology, like what Tag was originally said that they were doing, where this is already doing it at a higher level, and it takes away the surface issue that everybody complains about as being a factor that a human has to grade. It does not. There's already technology out there for this. I've seen 10 to 12 different companies doing stuff. It just hasn't entered our space, and it will. And when it does, it's going to be a disruptor. It just is where we're at.
Maybe. Football Card Finder, what do you mean by collaborate on content outside of this? Like collaborating with other channels that are not?
Well, I think he's talking about your other channels that you have, Dustin.
I could just collaborate with me on my other personalities, my multiple personalities that I've got.
Film 3 videos where you're talking to yourself 3 different ways.
That actually might be somewhat entertaining.
No, I think what he might mean is why don't maybe the 4 of us collaborate on other things as opposed to sports cards? Why don't we talk about other
toys?
stuff?
We've talked about video games.
Could do that.
We're
not just necessarily talking about things in this space.
Well, we kind of, we talk about life stuff too.
Yeah. Yeah. Here,
I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
If you're gonna go pompano fishing on the beach, this is the jig you need right here. Doc's Goofy jig with a teaser.
Collaborate. It's not topics. That's like partnering with other people.
Yeah.
Well, like my videos have really strayed. My videos don't have a whole lot of sports cards in them. Like there's sports cards sprinkled in. Like my last video was just me driving to the gym and going to the hardware store, and then I sprinkled in some sports cards. And I just
entertainment. Well, this space is missing a card.
The dog got sprayed by a skunk.
Yeah, I saw what your whole house did from what it sounded like.
The house is good. This time,
Steve's 90% B-roll.
This time we were prepared. Last time Daisy got sprayed by a skunk.
We didn't have any of the cleaning
B-roll. She ran all the way through the house. She came to the second floor. She came in here. She went back downstairs. And we were like, we didn't know she got sprayed. Like I immediately knew because she ran in and jumped on me and got it on me. But we had all the supplies that we needed to like clean her up and, like peroxide, hydrogen peroxide, baking soda, and Dawn dish detergent you mix up. And we had all that stuff ready. Last time I didn't even have baking soda. It was late at night. So I couldn't even go to the store and get it. I had to ride all the way to my mom's, which was like a 35-minute ride and back. So by the time I got back, that stuff was cooked into her. It was baked in goodness.
Especially she's short-haired too. So
skunk biscuits.
Yep.
I like this one. So this is the answer to the like, what sort of bump is this for cards? It's the F it, the world's ending bump.
Yeah.
There's something to that. My father-in-law is here from Italy for 6 weeks, and there was loud explosions sounding like downstairs. And I was like, what the hell is downstairs? Like I was yelling down, like I was thinking it was like my son or whatever, just messing around. And it's my father-in-law watching like live war games, like on YouTube. It's like, like, bombs dropping. I'm like, can we turn the volume down from 70? Like, can we? I can hear you all the way up here in my office.
You need to buy him a better hearing aid then.
The thing about the content is I'm going to have to talk about other things if I'm going to continue to put out a video every week or every 2 weeks, because I'm not doing as much with cards as I used to. And my videos were always about what I was doing. So if I'm not doing much with cards, it's kind of hard for me to come out with content that's not repetitive or redundant. So it's like, I do want to mix in some summer stuff, like more things with the dog, sports cards, fishing, sports cards, going to the beach, sports cards. My life as my health goes, like my physical fitness and stuff like that. I don't look anything like a fitness influencer or anything like that, but that's because I'm just an average guy like everybody else.
Are you going hobby box with the channel? Hobby box to fitness?
No, it's still going to be sports card based. I'm going to put as much sports cards into it as I can, but I've gotten feedback from people in the comments who say that they like those style of videos, and that's the only people that I really care to please. I'm not looking to grow my channel. So
no, you're doing great, Steve.
Adding
great.
new stuff
do
might grow the channel, because you might have somebody who does want to come in and is interested in gym stuff. But I'm not an expert on any of this stuff. So
you are an expert.
You're not listening to somebody that portrays themselves or actually may be an expert, and that's what they sell themselves on. Like, I watch music reactions and I watch movie reactions because I like to see people react to stuff that I like, to see if they like it the same way that I do. I like watching young people react to Pink Floyd music or to Pearl Jam music. And I'm like, man, I wonder if they like it as much as me. That's cool. And when they do, I relate to them and I go back to their channel. I watch fitness influencers because I try to learn about things I should be doing, correctly in the gym and things like that. It's like,
what's her name?
I watch them, but those guys are all ripped and jacked and young, and they're not just an average guy. Like, what can an average guy who's almost 50 years old, what can I do for me? Right.
ELP1, baby.
And people can tell you, what they do, but with me, it would kind of just be kind of like my journey. Hey, look, I'm losing weight. I'm not losing weight. Putting on muscle. I'm not putting on muscle. This is what I'm trying. This is, it's a trial and error. And, so with me, I would just like to broaden it more like that. Still keep it sports card focused when I can, but in order to get 10 minutes of content and not bore people to death, I'd like to sprinkle in other things.
Yeah, you were semi-retired, Steve. So
come on now.
That's kind of the reality of it. And that's okay.
I could get into the casino stuff, which people have asked me to do. Like, I know if I got into sides of the casino, like probabilities and numbers and the best chances for people to win and counting cards, how to count cards or how to catch card counters, whichever way I wanted to go with it. But people would watch that because they would think that it would give them an edge and it would be maybe I can win some money. But I don't want to do that, especially while I'm still in the business. Like, I could put out videos on how to catch and how to deter card counters, how to game protection, how to protect your game from cheats, where your pinch spots, where your cap spots, what are your bets that people are going to take shots at you on the most, where are your safe spots, how do you walk your game to protect against these things. But that's also stuff that you can learn if you're in the industry and you want to become a dealer or something within that job. I do give classes to surveillance teams to learn those types of skills. But
so you would be an expert.
And I do teach classes. I teach game security and numbers to the surveillance teams, and I teach the actual game of craps and how to deal it to students. But then I also have my role as a shift manager in the table games department at the casino.
I'm going to Las Vegas at the end of April. I'm trying to figure out what I want to play around with. And I'm thinking probably I'm going to find one of those stupid card machines and see what type of graded cards I get out of it.
Good job.
Or should I play crap, Steve?
You've learned nothing. Thank you.
What do you want to? Craps is.
Or do I just go to the roulette table?
Craps is very broad to say. Do I want to go up and play craps is
7 or
different
11,
than saying,
right?
do I want to go up and play blackjack? Because
Or do they
craps
just
has
play the pass
really
line,
good bets, and craps has really crappy bets, for no pun intended. But there's really good bets and there's really bad bets on the craps table. There's bets for everybody. On a blackjack game,
I reached out to Stack and Jim, so said he's gonna come hang out with me for a day.
Oh man, stacking gems.
Yeah. He's still buying too. I mean, he buys like one of ones.
Yeah, he pops into the comment section occasionally. I wonder how he's doing.
Prepare for a wild night there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, I think he's going to come on the day that we have the pool villa with the paid for drinks already by somebody who couldn't make it. So we have our own cabana at Caesar's Palace at the pool for a day.
Nice. Lucky 6 PSA purchase. Gentlemen, a few years ago to aid in grading. Are they not using this tech to aid in the grading process like centering? I'm pretty sure I've heard that they do have a centering tool to where they can override it, but there is tech, pretty sure on this one that they've had this for a while, where they have an assist on the centering side.
They do. Ryan talked about it when I interviewed him.
Yep. Yeah. They've had that going for a couple of years, I think. That's not a new thing. So for the centering, they've got help there.
Yeah.
Tag is surface grading. They'll be able to grade sports cards accurately. Too many variables with certain issues.
No, not really. Machine learning, you just teach it to learn each thing and then it runs with it. You can run steps through it. Stop it. It doesn't matter what's Tag look like in 20 years. We don't know. If they're the leading person for innovation with technology, they have the leg up.
They look like an empty building with a foreclosed sign out front.
Last I checked, they're doing quite well for themselves. Are they the best in the business based on numbers? No. Are they struggling? No. It's a good company.
They've really kind of rode the TCG wave up. PSA obviously has been the best beneficiary, but Tag is a great example of a company that's just benefited from that, and good for them. If that's
Tag blows.
Neo is not holding back at all.
Man, that sponsor keeps going backwards.
And I can quote him as he just said, "Tag blows."
I would throw one of my tag slabs off of the tower, when I go to do this test, but one of them broke just by falling off my kitchen counter.
I was gonna say it was shattered at that distance.
One of them split right down the middle, falling off my kitchen counter. So if I threw it off a tower, it'd probably blow up like confetti.
I'm going to bet on the Beckett.
You might hurt other people.
The Beckett tank, I literally watched a truck run over one of my Beckett slabs. If you're throwing slabs off of a building, I'm going to put my money on the Beckett slab to do the best.
I would do CGC.
Well, I ran over my PSA slab with the Jeep twice. It didn't damage it.
There you go.
If you want a good video, Steve, just clip all the PSA damage stuff into one video and post that.
Yeah, I tried to do that today, but I wanted to put it into a short, but when I filmed it.
No, just put it in a regular video and post it.
Panoramic.
Even if it's just
don't worry about the short.
Just title them up. I hate PSA part 1, part 2, part 3. Just title them up like that. It doesn't matter what's in the video. Just put the PSA logo on the thumbnail.
You label it my PSA. Favorite, not PSA.
Dude, just make a 9-minute video with your dog on the beach, and then at the very end, just say like,
but hey, to be fair, all those tests I did on the PSA slab, if they did anything, they made PSA look good.
I agree.
12 hours in the swimming pool, no leaks. Washer, dryer, no leaks, no damage. Ran over by the Jeep twice, no damage. Thrown off the top of a 75-foot tower onto a blacktop parking lot, no damage. I wrapped it in aluminum foil and threw it in a bonfire, and it swelled up. It still didn't even crack. It just swelled up from the heat.
It got stronger.
Whatever happened to that card?
It's here. Somebody won it. Jay won it in auction last year, and the money went to the national trip giveaway for Brad, who was the winner, to spend. But he never told me to send them to him. Because when I've done deals with Jay before, and he'll message me. He'll buy cards off of me and be like, "Can you hold those until I ask for them?" And so that's what he did. He bought that and the Jim Everett that was pulled from the Budapest Panini 1-pack, and he was like,
Whiny Buster.
I'll send them when I'm ready for them. So,
Crybaby Buster just busted into the chat.
Is that Buster Chestnut?
No. Buster Chestnut's cool. This guy's
been in there.
This is a multi-year whiner right here. It's like, good Lord.
V3
exhausting. This is one of the this is like one of the dozen people I've blocked.
Yeah.
So it came through on one of your channels.
You're welcome, Felipe. Felipe, I have a big show this weekend, and I'm gonna have a pretty long video, cards and cases, because it's one of our big quarterly shows.
See, there's Jay. Jay, what's up?
You put
Jay,
it in
I
twice.
have that Aaron Rodgers PSA slab and
the second one.
Yeah, he threw it in twice. Let's see if we can get it. Why don't you throw it in a third time?
I'm first-hand news. Dustin's second-hand news.
Yeah, but Neo won an award for it.
Award-winning.
You're an award-winning award-winning Neo cards and comics.
He's got his laptop set up on the toilet. If there's news that breaks, he is ready on the John.
Oh, Neo, that's the next great T-shirt, man. Just have a T-shirt with your logo on the front, and then on the back, award-winning. That would be great.
Steve's getting all sorts of advice on video content, security, casino stuff, gambling stuff. Yeah, this is kind of a blessing and the curse. It's like, do we want them to be able to see every last little detail on the surface with better tech?
What is the multiplier that a card company looks through a loop to grade a card? What's the multiplier? Is it 2x, 4x, 6x, 8x? What is it
again, Ham? What?
So when they grade the card, they look through a loop or a magnifier. What is that magnification level? At what level does the human eye not pick something up that a grading company considers a ding against the card?
It shouldn't be too heavy of magnification because and this may have changed. Don't quote me on this, but I believe the old definition of a gem mint card is something that either appears flawless or appears to have no damage when you're looking at it. It doesn't say appear when looking through 20x magnification.
That's the way it used to be. Correct. That's like if you looked at the old Beckett type deal and it told you edges, corners.
No, that's not saying they don't run like maybe a 5x. I don't know, a 10x magnifying.
They're saying 10x, but is 10x too much?
No, we're 10xing the hobby, not grading cards.
Yeah, you're getting your numbers mixed up. I have my
that's
handheld
what they're
magnifier
saying
that I use.
Comments.
I mean, my handheld magnifier that I use to prep raw cards has never really failed me when it comes to finding surface flaws and things. So I could look at the magnification on that and be like, must not be going too much stronger than this because this tends to be getting the job done for me when prepping.
I just don't know why that information is not disclosed.
I'm getting it. We're seeing answers from Comic Lover that it's a 10x loop.
But that's a lot. I mean, you look at it, you look at a diamond through a 10x loop. That's so you can see inside the freaking diamment. I don't need to see inside the corner of the card.
But you can see through diamonds. You can't see, that's the thing. I mean, you can look at something in 10x, but you can't. We don't have X-ray vision. Like you can't see through the card.
I know, but that's what I'm saying is, at what point is that too much? Is that too much?
Maybe they just want to make sure they don't miss anything.
Oh, I'm
like
sure.
Like a scratch or something. But if there's not a scratch on the surface, you're not going to be able to see if there's a scratch on the middle of the card, right? You can't look through it no matter how many times you. I mean,
the last video I saw something about PSA showing a magnification of the card. They're actually putting it under a digital magnification on the screen, so they're not holding a loop up so much anymore. Back in the day, they definitely did, but they put it underneath a camera that then projects the image onto a screen. So they're technically looking at a digital image, not a fully optical image.
I mean, let's be real. They grade so many cards. How much time are they spending actually looking at some of these cards? I'm going to guess.
I think it matters the card.
Right, exactly. I think it's circumstantial to the card. So to sit here and say they use a 10x loop and they look at every single corner and every single edge and the surface, they go around the surface very small diameter increments. And, for every card, I would guess not. I would say more so on a lot of your older cards that corners can tend to fuzz up some. You might not be able to see fuzz.
I just find it interesting that people that everybody's had on talking about that they used to be graders, this type of stuff doesn't get brought up. And I don't see why not. I don't get it.
Show me where your channel's at, Buster. Show me how it's done, bro. Show me how it's done. Third time with the same damn message.
Yeah.
He added Neo in on the second one. Then took him
but
off.
It's just copy paste, so it's easy.
Speech to text.
Once you win an award, you'll be off the hook too, Dustin.
That's right. You gotta win an award.
There
Oh, by
will
the way,
someone-
There will always be
what's
some goober.
what's going on with your award that you created with people voting?
goes-
Where are we
yeah.
at with it?
It goes through the 15th, so we got 4 days.
We don't have updated numbers.
Brother, I'm a one-man show. I'm not doing this.
Oh, I
I'm
thought
not-
you had like I
Oh,
thought you had a
here we
chat
go.
robot or
the
something.
Baseball
getting that
Buddies
information.
YouTube Hall of Fame Club. They've got like 7 people that run.
You know
the
what
damn-
this means? Dustin isn't winning. This means
Oh, no.
Dustin's
I
already
can't
bowed
win.
out. He
I
said he
can't
wouldn't.
win.
Can't win.
I'm not going to win it. I can't win it.
All you gotta do is grab the link to your video, insert it into ChatGPT or Gemini, ask it to show the people that have the most mentions.
So
That's gonna
when
be your
you
answer.
created the rules, you automatically disqualified yourself from being able to win.
No, he just
So you
automatically
don't-
put himself.
So
as
you'll
the
have an
first.
Yeah,
excuse.
No, he's the
So you'll
first
have an
one in.
excuse for when you
Exactly.
don't win.
don't worry.
He's
I
already
make
in.
the rules.
Well, I didn't
make
win
the
'cause I
Hall of
can't.
Fame,
It's
you're
in
already
rules,
in
you
the Hall of
know?
Fame.
It was genius. Hey, whoa! I'm not involved, guys. This isn't about me.
Yeah.
It's
It's in the
not
rules
about
that I
me.
can't win, but if it wasn't in the rules, I would have been a shoe-in first
You-
ballot.
but you got to vote on my channel.
I mean, Steve, you've got votes. You got votes. I got to go back to my video, but yeah, you got a lot of votes.
I don't know if I really deserve any votes right now. I haven't been putting enough content out.
I
People
tend
that
to
like
agree.
people, it doesn't
I
matter.
tend to
but-
agree.
Unless I'm getting the quality over quantity votes.
There you go.
Yeah.
They'd rather have something than nothing.
Ham's got votes.
Yeah. Yeah, 10x
Paul,
10x
buy
is what I've
cooler
heard, too.
cards, and you care way less about what grade it is or who the
How you doing,
upgrade.
Paul? Paul, I got a nice Green Bay Packers item for you. I don't know if it'll fit you though.
Buy cool shit. That's my new motto.
Well, yeah,
it feels like everybody says everything's cool.
Paul, I think Paul's is a PC statement because I can care less about the grade and the grader when I'm buying for my personal collection. But if I'm trying to buy something to resell it, I mean, I got to go with what the market is saying is the most valuable, whether I like it or not.
I mean, how do y'all feel about the whole comps? I mean, I know y'all, 2 of y'all have made videos about this, but is it? I know we're complaining about specific things about comps. A card that there's a lot of something in comp matters. A card that there's pretty much nothing about a comp shouldn't matter.
I think part of the fun of card hobby is trying to figure out comps, comparing against others. I mean, I just showed earlier in the video, I paid $3,500 for that Gold Prism PSA 10 Breeze. I mean, there's not really a great comp. Like I'm comping against like, okay, what does a Tom Brady card go for? It's like 10x. You know, like I'm trying to figure out what does a Roethlisberger go for? What does a Rodgers go for? I think that's part of the fun of all of it is the comp part.
But a card doesn't go up until somebody pays more for it.
I feel like
that's how it works.
And it depends on the cards. Like we're talking about base Prism PSA 10s, where it's like, hey, they sell all the time, and you got comps that are easy.
And that has to be a public sale for anybody to even know about it in a very broad public space. So we really don't know what goes on unless it's an auction or on eBay for the most part.
I feel like in the pandemic days when the market was really popping off and many players became unaffordable, people were looking for the next best thing in comparison to what the best ones were selling for, right? We started to see all kinds of people that were somewhat popular. Like I remember writing an article on a Facebook page comparing Drew Brees rookie cards to, I don't think it was Tom Brady, but I can't remember who I compared it to. But I just remember saying, for your money value, if you look at Drew Brees and you look at this player, does this Drew Brees card really seem underpriced? And since then, Drew Brees cards, they did go up because they went up with the rising tides of everything. Mm-hmm. And if you bought, you had to kind of be like, okay, when said player becomes too expensive for everybody to buy, what's going to be the next player that they decide that they want to buy? So that was kind of like the game. It was kind of like, okay, everybody's buying Aaron Rodgers right now. He costs more money than Drew Brees. If I buy Drew Brees, is Drew Brees going to be the next player that ascends? And that's just an example. I don't even think it was those players that I compared. But anyway, that's kind of like what happened. So I feel like that's kind of been the game for a long time, especially when you're trying to beat a market, when you're trying to get ahead and have the cards before they go up in value. So I feel like what you were just describing about comparing, okay, the Tom Brady is this much and the Drew Brees is this much, and that's something that you kind of like been doing a lot lately. I think that was like a trend a couple of years ago that people were really doing. I think it kind of fell off, and then the hobby really started to focus on 10 names, right? Maybe from the modern era. I don't even want to say just ultra modern. I just want to say from the modern era, 10 names that really ascended. Your Jordan, your Brady's. Mahomes was in there, even though he's still active. Just a handful, your Kobe's, the stuff that when you go to a card show, if you have those players, people are going to buy them off you because they're so high in liquidity. And I don't like to use that word liquidity with sports cards anymore. I used to use that word a lot, but now that I'm in the stocks and cryptos a lot, I truly understand what the word liquidity means. But anyway, for the sake of, cards that are going to be easier to move than other players. And it's still those same handful of players. And I think a lot of players that are really good and really high-end cards of them are really PC cards that are going to fall to people that are looking to coffin those cards.
Yeah, if you look at like Breeze is my Saints PC guy, so it's like a big card for my PC. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I could have spent $3,500 on a Michael Jordan card. It's far more liquid. It's, maybe it's, more safe in quotation marks, but I think that's part of the fun, though, is having kind of a mixed bag.
Yeah. You also can't get as much boom for your buck when you're buying Michael Jordan. For $3,500, you're not going to get as much boom for your buck when you're buying Michael Jordan. So, I mean, I get the whole rush and the adrenaline of getting a nice card that is a good value, and it's a card that you love yourself. It's a PC. If you never want to sell it, you don't care. That always makes things a lot better. But again, say for instance, you were looking at, and Aaron Rodgers is still playing. I'm just using his name because for some reason his name keeps popping in my head. But like an Aaron Rodgers gold prism from that same year. I don't know what that card goes for. I don't know if it's worth more. I don't know if it goes for more. I don't know if it goes for less than a Drew Brees, but what is it in comparison to a Tom Brady? So then again, you could be like, oh, well, that Aaron Rodgers in comparison to a Tom Brady looks like a really good deal. I feel like, and this is the argument for your case, I feel like in that type of situation, you got to have more than it just feels like a good deal. Like to you, the Breeze, it felt like a good deal, but it also was a card that tugged at your emotions as a fan of the Saints.
Yeah. And I think too, the way I look at it is there's literally a handful of quarterbacks in that generation. It's Brady, it's Breeze, it's Rodgers, I guess maybe Roethlisberger, maybe. And then you've got Eli Manning, but it's a very short list of quarterbacks kind of in that 2000 to 2025, bracket that came like post Marino, Elway, in that crop. And so that's another reason why I like, not that it's a safe buy at all, because none of this stuff is, but with Breeze being the part of my PC, I like the fact that he's kind of one of those handful of important guys where you look at the NFL and there's like the quarterback carousel just keeps on spinning.
I think it's so tough. I think it's so tough for players, and you can say this for players that came through in the Jordan time too. Guys like Barkley and Ewing. People don't talk about Ewing. People don't talk about Karl Malone. I know people don't talk about him because he had some shady shit, bad shit going on in his personal life, but people don't talk about some greats of the game from the same era as Jordan.
Yeah. They fall off. They fall off pretty hard.
But they were really great because they didn't really either win any titles or they won limited titles. And then this whole Tom Brady era, once you get past Brady, you get to Peyton Manning, and then it kind of like forms a roadblock, right? But there was some really great players that did play throughout that era. I mean, Breeze won a Super Bowl against Peyton Manning. Or against Peyton Manning's team. So it's kind of like, but it's kind of like the same thing. Because you can get really, really good players from the 86 Fleer set on a discount because they played in the Jordan era. Yeah. And you can get some really good players from the 1996 Topps Chrome basketball set because they played during the Kobe era. And on down the line. You could say the same thing from 2003. Look at the prices of Dwayne Wade in comparison to LeBron James. And that's basketball. It's not even really my thing, but
that's a drastic price difference
through the Tom Brady era. Like Tom Brady is so much on a pedestal, and then you get to Manning because people actually think from a playing standpoint he was the better quarterback. The reason why Dan Marino is still very popular in this hobby is not because he won Super Bowls. It's because he was so much head and shoulders above everybody from a skill and statistical standpoint when he was playing, that he almost revolutionized the game, the passing aspect of the game. going back earlier than him, Dan Fouts was kind of the guy that did it with the Chargers. But but he'll always hold relevance because the NFL is a fast, exciting, pass-heavy game these days. And you look back and you're like, well, Dan Marino was doing this shit in the 80s. Nobody else was. Like, to throw for 5,000 yards now is a great season. To throw for 5,000 yards then was a record-breaking, unheard of, this will never happen again. But here it is happening again.
Yeah. It's interesting. Some guys, like Brett Favre is a great example of, people spend some big money on certain Favre cards. Now he's got some of those late 90s rare inserts, so he falls into that bucket of like, you can get a PMG and, there's like some pretty big cards for him. But even with like Favre obviously had a great career, but he also had a lot of scandal around him too. And people still spend big on Favre stuff. So I guess it's kind of a crapshoot, however you look at it, but yeah, so it's fun. This is interesting. So Brendan's talking about, Dan the Cardman came out with a video. It was either today or yesterday. I did catch this one or like half of it, but essentially what it was talking about somebody that claimed to be a new collector that was bidding on their own cards at auction to watch them, kind of like the Patrick Ryan reasoning of like watching cards. And it was like, and then he kind of acted like he didn't realize that was, like something that you shouldn't do, even though this was on, I think that they were consigned on eBay, if I remember it correctly. And so it's like you can't hit the watch button. You got to bid on the damn thing.
I don't know. Do people forget what the watch button like? I don't understand.
Oh, watch me bid. I mean, that's what it's going to be about.
So I guess, Brendan, the big question then on the back of that is like, how often does that happen? How common is it? Especially when you look at consigned cards where people are bidding on their own stuff that they can sign out. And that sucks, but there is something to that for sure. I mean, but we just don't know the extent of it. I guess
we've seen that happen, right? We've seen that happen with was it P. Ryan?
Yeah.
We've seen that happen a long time ago, wasn't it, with Sports Card Therapist?
Well, he was
bidding on his own card.
He was no. He wasn't
bidding on his own card. He was driving up comps on cards that he owns.
Oh, I thought that he was just
kind of the same concept, but not really.
I thought he was a non-payer or something.
He was. I mean, he was a non-payer, but it wasn't on his own listings.
I thought it was like not like his cards that he owned, but just trying to drive up like the Eli Manning market in general because he's an Eli Manning guy.
That's what he was doing. That's different than bidding on your own stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't his own stuff. Yeah.
I don't know why they wouldn't just hit the watch button. I guess the only thing I could think of is because I don't think you get notifications on your watch button.
You do.
Do you?
You mean like when a bid comes in?
No. Well, yeah, when a bid comes in, if you're watching something, you will, if you get outbid on something in an auction, you'll get notifications.
Yeah, but he wasn't trying to be the high bidder. He was just trying to track it.
The tracking thing is so dumb.
It just doesn't make any sense. I think
it doesn't make sense. I think it's excused. You're right. It's excused. 100%.
I mean, it's like, come up with something better than that. I guess that's the only thing you can really say, because you're not doing, it's not right what you're doing, but yeah.
Well, it was consigned. So I think as far as setting a reserve, that's another argument about it is that the cards were consigned and the consignment company doesn't set reserves. So then I thought the way that I heard the story was not just that he was going in to watch it, but was putting in his minimum bid of what he wanted to at least sell for. Not that he was going in and putting in increment bids, but just say, hey, I don't want it to sell for any less than this, so I'm going to bid this much. And then the reasoning behind that was it's essentially the same thing as setting a reserve.
Yeah, either way you look at it, it sucks. It's like, then don't play the game. You don't run it at auction. Put it on a buy.
I'm not justifying it. I'm just trying to say, hey, maybe that. I
know, but it's like
I was listening to the video, but I was kind of in and out, and I heard him say something about reserve prices and things like that, but I don't know what the full.
You could be right. I watched it, but I wasn't like listening to every single word.
Yeah, like it was on, but I was like walking, like I was getting dressed. So I was like walking into the closet, then back out into the room. And so it was kind of, I heard sections throughout.
My thing is just run it as 7-day auction on eBay and set the first bid at whatever your reserve is. Set the minimum bid at $100.
I hate reserves.
If $100 is what like your reserve is, like you need to get more than 100.
You're better off to just list it at 99 cents because auctions that you set at a high starting
But
price.
what I'm saying is this was consigned.
Yeah, but then it takes the risk away though. It's like you can't have it both ways. You know, if you're going to run it at night, I agree with you. Yeah, you're going to get more watchers in action if it's at 99 cents. But if you also are going to like freak out and panic and flop on the ground and cry if it goes for $30 and you wanted 100, then you got to set the opening bid at 100. And if you don't sell it, then you don't sell it. But you know,
yeah, I never set reserves, but I'll set an opening bid if I'm selling something myself. You know what I mean? I'd be like, I want to get at least $100 for this. So opening bid is 99. You know what I mean? So and yeah, that does deter off the early watchers and the early bidders, but anybody who's smart will add it to their watch list and then be like, okay, well, this is a $200 card. The opening bid is 100. Whether it's 99 cents or 100, I'm still going to be paying over $100 for this at the end of the auction.
Yeah.
But if you consign cards, you can't set a reserve. And when you consign them, it's just kind of like you just letting them rip. And because I primarily sell through consigning. And that's because I set an average of what I want to get per card as opposed to or per order as opposed to what I want to get per card. If I'm sending in 20 cards and I want to make, and I hope that I get $1,000, I don't care if this card underperforms or because another card is going to overperform. It's going to balance itself out. So if you're selling 20 cards at a time, look at it as how much you want to get for all 20. Because you might have a card that's a $40 card that might go for 20, but then you might have a $40 card that goes for 55 or 60.
If you pay for it in the end, shouldn't matter if you're bidding on cards you have. I don't agree with that, man.
That's a bad take.
Yeah,
that's not a good take, dude.
A real bad
with the Jose Altuve picture.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, because here's the thing: if you don't win at the end and someone else does win, then you just cost them money.
Yeah.
And NH Rocker pops in with you got a vasectomy last week. Well, congratulations.
Welcome to the club, buddy. Welcome to the club.
I've been there too. I remember
Rose and Peas.
Crazy. I went to one of those
you
guys
are in that club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just curious because me and my wife we're having a discussion earlier this week.
I went to one of those guys in Florida.
This live just took a turn.
I went to one of those guys in Florida that's like got the billboard like 10,000 vasectomies done or whatever.
Yeah.
It was funny. It took him about 20 minutes. It was like he had like Sports Center on TV. I walked in there. He's just talking to me like, "Hey, what do you think about the Bulls this year?" He's just talking to me through the whole thing. There's like smoke coming off of my balls, and like he was done in about 20 minutes. I drove myself home. It's incredible.
How were you the next hour?
It's fine. Like it was literally like you can't do anything for like a few days in case there's.
Yeah, mine wasn't that bad. I mean, my cousin acted like he was dying. I didn't have that.
This guy was a pro.
Yeah.
I mean, he was
a man. Like, it's just different. You take things as a man, like a man. It doesn't hurt so bad.
Yeah, this dude was a pro.
We need the vibes from Shipshewana here for Brad Varda.
Brad Noble, real quick. Yeah, Brad Noble. I use my Pixel 8 Pro when I'm doing all my show videos.
DJI Pocket 3 for me.
Yeah.
Don't listen to him. It's probably something way better than that. If he's saying it's that one, he probably has like the Ultra Pro version.
Nope, that's the best one that they make. That one.
Mm-hmm.
Neo, can you talk a little bit about the vibe at Shipshewana? What seemed to be in demand or out of demand?
Anything with a price tag on it was in demand. The vibes were strong. I don't know. I have a 20-minute vlog video up that shows everything. No, that show was crazy. Dealers were just like literally running out of shit. Like I walked past dealer tables on Friday and they had 8 showcases on it, and then Saturday morning they had 1 because they had no cards left to put out.
Yeah, they have the same problem here.
So
it's nuts.
Would you say, I know this is going to be really hard for you to gauge, but I'm kind of curious if so much stuff was selling. Now I know you did the whole Obafemi thing, so you obviously think Repack were buying a lot of the shit.
They hit it early on Friday, but then Saturday was just regular folks in there buying up.
How would you say? Man, it's hard to say. I don't want to say ratio flippers to collectors, but how many cards do you think were being sold that were being sold to be resold, and how many cards do you think people were actually buying to take home?
Friday, a lot more to repackers. Saturday, a lot more to regular folk.
The normals.
Now, is there a difference?
The normies.
But is there a difference in what they're buying?
No, everyone wants the same shit.
So
they want the kaboomies.
They want
Tyler. So people are wanting case hits to repack and to flip,
more
and
like I mean the repackers want that crap, but like everyone wants like Ohtani stuff right now. Jordan, Griffey. I mean the same stuff that we see going crazy.
Yeah, Judge. Yeah.
Baseball
is Ohtani's hot all the way down through.
Kobe.
Ohtani stuff is just like
doesn't matter.
I mean, I have some sealed 2018 wax.
Don't open.
Damn, bro.
I think it's 18.
You need to send that to consignment.
I mean,
it's just blasters. I got a bunch of blasters. I bought them a long time ago.
Yeah.
What's
a top blaster? Hey, Filmington's in here. What's a 2018 Topps blaster with an Ohtani rookie in it go for now? You probably have
tops, like chrome up there. There's like 18 different.
It's base. Let's just say
I know for a fact I have some heritage.
Okay.
Can you pull?
I have some packs left over.
Can you pull like his real one auto or whatever out of the heritage?
I don't know. A lot of his autos were redemption, so you gotta be careful on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Philwington would know as the Rudy.
But I do. I have some 2018 wax that I originally had bought, and it was to be given away on the channel, and nobody ever wanted it. Like whenever somebody would win, I'd be like, pick this blaster or this blaster. They always pick the other one.
So yeah, Filmington says Topps update flagship with the Ohtani's are 425 a blaster.
Topps Chrome 800. Holy shit.
Let's see who's got balls.
What's funny is I opened a shit ton of all that stuff. I never hit.
Let's see who's got balls. Come join Big Brian.
I remember selling a prismatic style refractor, not this rate of the Topps Chrome pitching, which is the common version, but the Topps Chrome pitching, and it was a refractor, but it looked kind of like prismatic. You know what I'm talking about?
Prism. They're literally just called Prism.
From Topps Chrome?
Yeah.
Prism refractor?
Yeah.
I remember selling one of those out of my showcase to Shelly. Shelly it's in the chat often for like $100 raw. I was going to get it graded, but she come up to the showcase when we were in Atlanta the first time. And she was like, how much for the show? And I was like, yeah, I think probably $100 because I think I had plucked it out of a bargain case at a Philly show for like 45 or 50. And it had gone up a little bit to like, $65, $70. I can't remember. Anyway, I had $100 price tag on it and she paid for it. And it's probably worth a little bit now. Now, I don't know what it'd be worth raw. And I don't know if she got it graded.
Add another zero to it.
I had it in a one touch to be graded, so it didn't look bad.
It's like regular refractor is like $1,500, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, that's good. That was a good buy for her then.
That was probably when he was hurt.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And everybody should have been buying it. Now we look back, you're like,
I bought a bunch of dirt cheap Topps Heritage paper rookies of his already graded in PSA 10s when he was. It's the yellow one. It's just a big picture of his face, and it's got a yellow border like this shirt.
Yep.
And I bought a bunch of those in PSA 10s for like dirt cheap when he was hurt, and I sold them all fairly good, fairly decent.
The one thing I'll say that like about if you're going to like a bigger show, like a Ships or a Philly or Chantilly doesn't exist right now, but something on that level. If you see a card you want in a case and it's priced remotely in range, you better grab it because it's not going to be there.
It won't be there when you turn around.
Hey, I could say the same thing. Again. I mean, I could say the same thing about eBay. Remember, I showed you guys in my last video. I talked about that Joe Montana card, and I contemplated on buying that. I contemplated on buying that for just. I might have slept on it, and I woke up the next day and it was sold. I was like, I knew that was a good deal. And when somebody buys it,
how did you feel when you saw that it sold?
I felt like, damn, I should have bought it.
You missed out.
That's always my litmus test for if I'm hesitant on a card.
Right. And then
whenever I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, if I wake up tomorrow morning and this said this listing has ended, like, what's my rage scale? And if it's like above a 7, I'm just binning it.
I think the original listing for that was $12.99, which is $1,300. But then they sent out offers to watchers at $11.99, which is $1,200. But then, from what I read in my comments, somebody must have looked it up on 130. Was that it ended up going for $950? So the person took a best offer, under $1,000 for that.
Yeah,
I know that
probably...
the PSA 8s only go for like $600, but what would you rather have? A PSA 8 for $600 or a CGC 9 for $950? Just to say $1,000 when PSA 9s are doing $3,000.
This card, I had this on my watch list and I kept going back and forth. It was like overpriced at the time. And I'm like, God, do I really want to spend? I think this was $400 or $500.
Oh, that's the price of a Stranger. That's a Stranger Things box.
At the time, and I'm just like, if I wake up tomorrow and someone bins this, I'm gonna be so pissed. And I just smacked the bin on it.
There you go.
Dustin, did you open your Stranger Things boxes? Speaking of,
no, I haven't yet. I got them
right now. Let's go.
I'm gonna sell those. There's no way I'm
not even gonna make
anything. At least CT scan it.
I just bought a $3,500 Breeze card. I can't afford to rip.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah, but what if there's
a good investment? You bought gold.
Yeah, I do think. Well, you got a good pull out of yours. You got a good one.
My video's not up yet.
Is that tomorrow?
No, probably won't be till next week. Now there's too much shit going on.
Oh, okay. Mad City have not used Chronosio yet. I haven't opened it yet. I just kind of teased it today, but I am going to use it. I'm excited to kind of dive into that. See how it all works. I want to sell more. I want to do more buy sell in the summertime. So I will.
What is it?
It's a new sponsor of the channel, but they have kind of this big kit that includes a really badass scanner. And then they've got kind of like, it's basically a way to really like load up a lot of cards and sell on eBay at once. And it streamlines everything, listing, shipping, like streamlines everything. Mm-hmm. Master Shake, the revolt has not happened yet. Not yet. But apparently it's coming. That's what we keep hearing. The revolt is coming.
It's only coming from the people that have been in the hobby for a long time.
If you're going to go to Heroes Con, the portal's open to apply for media badges.
You said portal.
Heroes Con?
Yeah, I'll probably, I mean, I guess I could apply for one, but I didn't. You know
what?
Can
I just put that I know Neo on there and it'll qualify me?
No, unfortunately not.
Come on, Neo. You don't have that kind of stroke yet?
Don't you need a camera?
You're award winning.
You're a machine.
You had a viral tweet.
Not with the DJI Pocket 3. I don't need a cameraman.
But you need him to hold it so you can look through cases. And then we can get that video of you doing your thing.
People rage so hard that I don't show cards in cases. They get so mad.
I appreciate the mention too in the video.
You saved that for Ham.
He kind of blew Ham out. If you were expecting a Michael Ham video where in the cases, that's not my style.
Did he straight up say that?
Yeah, I did.
I watched some of that.
I was laughing. That's awesome.
It was like in the first 3 minutes. I opened the video.
Yeah, like literally. Yeah, he's still walking before he walks in the door.
Yeah, I'm like, listen, if you're expecting cards and cases, go watch Michael Ham. This isn't the channel for you.
But like, even
I
what
won't
you
be going
said
to
about
a Dallas
people,
show in Jersey.
People not liking you like in the case sometimes. I only get that at the National. I don't know if it's because everybody locally knows me.
Ships is, well, they might know you. Ships is just too busy though. Like I could barely get.
Oh yeah, no, it's hard when it gets too busy. I really pick and choose a card or two in a case, or try to just, even my shows recently, I've had to wait to go back to cases to look at cards, or I see somebody purchasing a card and I'm like, hey, super cool card. Do you mind if I throw this in my video? I'd like to show this. And they're like, yeah, I'd love to. So it usually works out that way. And I usually won't show people doing deals because I don't want to blow up anybody's spot. People are moving cash around. I don't feel comfortable in that.
Yeah, I just don't feel like dealing with all of those like little headaches of things to pay attention to. I don't have time for that.
So I have a question. If we were to compare,
I'll make up an answer.
From 2020/2021, whenever the hobby really started popping off, everybody started attending the shows. We went to that first Dallas show. Then we went to that first national where we all attended. First national for me. I guess that would be what, 2021.
Yeah.
and when the hobby was really at what some would consider to be its peak, at least from a marketability standpoint. Some people would say the hobby was at its worst because they didn't like the way the hobby was. And some people will say that now still. But if you were to, then we had a bit of a drop off, probably 2022 through 2023. Where would we compare where the hobby is sitting now to that 2021 year? I can't really answer this question because, again, I'm not out at the shows and stuff like you are, Neo, like you are, Ham. So it's kind of like, I see what I see selling. I see content.
It's wider. Yeah, it's definitely wider.
Yeah. It's like Neo said, it's healthier right now.
But I would say it's not like base Luca prisms that are going to the
right. I'm not saying it's not ridiculously booming like it was in 2021. So leave 2021 out of the equation. Where would you compare it to the years to where it was starting to come down from its peak?
Stuff that's booming.
Yeah, no, I think it is. I think knowledge has changed with, again, videos that people put out and things like that. New people getting into the hobby, other people just venturing in and out of it as we go. And then we're at right now. I just think at some point we're gonna strangle the damn thing again, and it's gonna drop because a lot of people are gonna end up losing money or getting into credit card debt. Because I go to these shows, I go to the shop, and everybody's paying on their damn credit card, and that's a problem. Like, not all these people have money to spend.
Yeah, but
like this.
Do you use your debit card when you're doing anything, Ham? Okay, well,
I don't. I use cash.
This was very surprising to me, and that's why I actually
roll
did a video.
The quarters.
why my last video had those cards that I bought at the National last year, and it was very surprising to me because I was going into the other night. I was pumped about the National. I was like, oh, I bought the Jerry Rice and Walter Payton at the National last year. I haven't looked at the price since then because I'm not looking to sell them. They're just on my PC. But curiosity got the best of me, and I was like, wonder where they do stand right now. And before I started looking at comps on those cards, I was thinking to myself, they're probably slightly down. I was like, I paid like $2,000 for that Jerry Rice. I hope that it's sitting around $1,600 right now, is what I was thinking to myself, because I'm thinking to myself, crypto's down. The stock market has been strong, in the S&P and things like that. But it's kind of like, we have a war or an operation going on. Crude oil is going up. Gas prices are going up. There's probably going to be a little bit less disposable.
Kobe's going up, baby. LeBron's going up.
Tommy's going up.
I was like, is this but I'm like, is this affecting people's, there's fear and greed, right? So it's kind of like, are people getting scared now? Are people still willing to shell out money for sports cards in a time when there's kind of some question marks going on?
And this is where I have the conversation where it looks like COVID. Everything's just going up. At some point, you've been watching,
but not in every market, to be fair, Ham. So when I'm looking at other markets and I see that other markets are down, I'm going to
what other market? The stock market? You talking about stock market?
Crypto's
but that's all a game. That's all a game we're involved with people that are controlling it.
Volatile markets. People are putting their money into stuff that is safe, like silver and gold, and now oil. But
silver and gold's been safe our entire life. It's just a different number now. Everybody said silver and gold my entire life. That's never changed.
What are you talking about?
That's just a slogan. That's the thing they say.
Ham's going. Let him cook.
The price of silver has gone from like $35 to $90.
No, what I'm telling you is people always said put your money in silver and gold. My whole life, no matter when silver was $13 an ounce.
I like the
meme. But silver has utility now. When you were a kid, silver wasn't being used in all your electronic products, and everybody wasn't carrying a cell phone and things like that. Like, silver is more than just something that's going to be used for jewelry.
Silver is the most conductive metal that we have. It's been used in electronics.
Exactly. But even more so now because we've become an electronic society. People are talking about having robots in their homes and things like that.
Open your keyboard up right now. There's no gold, no silver in it. Open the keyboard up.
Silver has tanked lately, but you can't say something has tanked when it's still up probably 60%. Like nothing goes. Like silver tripled in value. It's still like if silver goes up to $100 from 35. And then comes back down to 70 or 75, you can't say silver is tanked. You have to zoom out and look at the graph. You can't look at the weekly or the daily. You have to zoom out and say, where are we now and where were we then? So I was kind of like, but I was thinking, I didn't think cards would have gotten like super soft, right? But I didn't know that like the cards like the Jerry Rice has a 75% increase.
I remember
That's
you were
not a
battling.
75
You were
that's not a
battling buying that
75%.
too.
But that's not a 75% increase on a $100 card. A 75% increase on a $100 card, it's a $175 card.
Yeah, you can do that overnight.
That seems
now.
reasonable.
Hit
But
2 home runs in
$2,000
the
to
Classic.
$3,500 on a player that's not still playing, it just seemed to me, it was very surprising to me.
But our cards are no different than the stock market.
I like.
Did it make me happy?
meme.
Absolutely.
I like the meme
Am I
where
glad?
it's like your
Yes.
grandpa.
Still.
I like the meme where it's like your grandpa beat you in all your investments just holding silver. Like all he did was just hold silver. But like over time, just built up this silver portfolio, just beat out everybody.
Well, that Mr. Kiyosaki, rich dad, poor dad.
Paul's in here pumping silver. Here we go.
Yeah, we got it. It's going to go to a couple $100 an ounce. There's no silver left.
Yes,
all
which
somewhere
later
else.
is correct. When I put money, I have multiple retirement accounts. Some are
got it,
really
Carlos.
safe. Some are a little more risky. I'm a basic 401k. I have a separate Roth, things like that. So in my Roth is a little bit more risky. I will hedge when I put money into stocks in my Roth account, I will hedge with silver and gold just to have some safe
Who's
investments in
happy
there too,
about precious
safer,
metals?
less volatile.
The Canadians are happy about precious metals because that's a big part of their industry up there is mining. They mine for all that stuff. They are fired up there about the precious metals going up.
Carlos, what, last week or the week before, you said it was still like 30 degrees up there or something?
You know what's crazy? The high was 87 today in Raleigh, and the high tomorrow is like 55. And it's
the cold front coming through. Yeah,
it's 80 here today, and it's supposed to be 30 next week. And it's crazy because I'm 15 minutes from the seashore, and I took Daisy to the beach to go on a walk. And when I got from, I'll tell you something else. When I got from here, where I live, Dustin, you know where I live, and you know where the beach is at here. When I got, it was 83 degrees when I was driving through Lewis, which is literally 5 minutes from the beach I wanted to get to. When I got to the beach, it had dropped to like 53 and was windy because all the water or cold air coming out. I had to go to a surf shop and buy a hoodie because I went down there in a t-shirt, shorts, and flip-flops like it was midsummer.
Do we got a video of this?
On the beach and was like, this wind is brutal.
We're gonna have dudes cutting the copper pipes out of our house.
So they cut the copper off the backflows actually down here when copper gets high.
And Daisy went to the vet yesterday. Now she had a vet visit planned long before the skunk incident. So she gets sprayed by a skunk. And I said to my wife, I said, is she still going for her vet visit? And she was like, oh, hell yeah. So she took her in the vet. She told the vet, she's like, she just got sprayed by a skunk like 3 nights ago. And the vet was like, well, I don't smell anything. So that was good. But I was like, Daisy, you got sprayed by a skunk on purpose. So you got out of your doctor's visit, but she still had to go.
I can relate to this. For Rippin' for Rooks just got into the hobby after a 40-year absence. So he's like, what, Rip Van Winkle coming back into the hobby 40 years later. Can't believe the kids walking around the shows with cases of cards that are worth more than my 2020. That's the thing that's so crazy when I'm watching like Jeff Wilson videos or whatever. Actually, I watched one over the last couple of days where the kid wanted a 2018 Kaboom Josh Allen, I think a PSA 10. He was collecting like Josh Allen Kabooms. He whips out like a 86 Fleer Jordan PSA 7. He whips out like all these cards that add up to like $8,000 or $10,000 or whatever it was, and they did the trade. And I'm just like, what planet are we on, man? I just realized how poor I was as a kid. Like just watching.
Yeah, I didn't have 80 cents.
Oh shoot! Do I have
K?
That's because some of these kids are like insane hustlers. Like they start with like a $10 PSA 10 Luca, and by the end of the week they flip it into $1,000.
Join my crew. You take the card and put it in the sleeve.
I wish I had the year broke. I got to add the year broke clip to this. We got to have the year broke clip.
I'm surprised you don't have more clips.
Chris,
yeah, I just have the same ones. I've been using.
Chris, I just put out 2 videos. I know it's a shock, but Daisy's in the videos. She's the only reason people still watch.
That is not true. Partially.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's why I don't feel well. It's like 90 degrees one day, it's 50 degrees the next.
I know, I'm excited, but our cold weather's not coming until next week. That'll probably be the last cold weather I get.
There's a million of these mining companies in Canada where you can invest in the mining company that's going in and pulling stuff out. I mean, they got to be happy.
Now the problem is they're having a hard time finding new veins. So the way silver is pulled out of the ground, it's not like it's just silver, it's roped into other stuff. So there's a whole nother process to pull it apart. So it's not as easy as gold, where gold you can literally just get gold.
And now you've got oil pumping. All the landman folks in Texas are like, let's get drilling, boys, get drilling.
And Trump will be like, no, it's coming from Venezuela. No worries. 800 million gallons.
I mean, it'll spike for a minute and then it'll come back.
It already started to drop the other day.
Yeah. It's not helping the break. That's right. It's not helping what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, I filled up yesterday. Gas was up 40 cents or what it was last week here.
Damn, this is a shots fired at the what's the show that you do with the comic book guys?
Oh yeah, the Ungraded Truth.
The Graded Truth.
Hey Neo, haven't watched in a while. Whoa, Swag lost his hair. Manu gained weight, which Manu I don't think has gained any weight, but Automatic hasn't changed much. Damn. Coming in hot. Wonder World Comics 2020 came in guns a-blazing.
Nothing changes when it's
Wonder World Comics. Isn't that over in like Orlando?
Wonder World, are you Orlando shop? The road trips with Daisy.
Roadies. You need to get a good video of her hanging out the window.
Carlos, if they had just accepted silver crypto, they might have filled that break. Fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fair take, I would say.
I always wish that that Bitcoin card in Alleganter back in the day would have actually been a part of an actual Bitcoin. Oof. That would have been exciting. Neo gangsta, no emotions.
Neo's
you need to go to Neo's watch list, see what's at the top of the watch list that he's thinking that he doesn't want to buy, and you just need to bin it.
Neo's like playing tonight, Neo.
What's that, Steve?
Yeah.
Were they playing tonight?
They lost.
I mean, I heard you say you were coming off a loss, but I didn't know if it was tonight or yesterday or something.
Yeah, tonight. They lost to the Magic.
Neo's kind of like Data from Star Trek.
Are they in the playoffs yet?
Playoffs?
No, the playoffs don't start till April.
Oh, because somebody was saying something about Orlando and Cleveland in the first round or something. So I didn't know.
Yeah, playoffs don't start for another month.
Oh, Detroit area, Monroe, Michigan.
Detroit.
Well, at least you know where to target them, Neo.
Detroit.
RCA says we would be great for a political podcast. The debates would be hilarious. We should fire off some political debate and really
we get a lot more views.
Yeah.
I don't know that those are the views that I want.
That's the problem. Great. That's kind of the problem.
I want that comment section.
Yeah, it's like you can go super controversial on content, but then it's like, yeah, but do you want to do like we've got enough of the bullshit in sports cards, let alone like freaking politics. Like, are you kidding
want
me?
Guy to DM you, he's going to come to your house and kill you tomorrow.
I mean, yeah,
that's what happens. I mean, these guys got some crazy shit.
They can try. I mean, it would be a bad move, but
so what am I missing with the Neo and the tag bot things? I see where Carlos is that like a real thing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Neo says tag bots.
Not another podcast.
I created a long time ago.
Yeah.
I think I invented Tagbot. If not, I'm taking claim for it. I'm pretty sure I was early on that bandwagon.
You have an award. You can claim things at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I was first to start the Tagbot.
You point your trophy at the screen when you do it.
Tagbot's what I call the tag fanboys when they come out in the comments.
Gotcha.
Tagbot.
So we all start. Probably get in line now. We should probably get in the queue now for licensed Topps football cards, just so they can sell the 9 boxes on the site.
They'll be. Well, what did I see that is hitting Dutch auction from Topps? Was it a wrestling product?
I don't know.
Something was just getting ready to go up for auction. But
I really want WWE royalty, but it's going to be $8,000 a box, and you're not even going to be able to buy it.
I will attempt to get into a random on that and just see if I get lucky as hell on a break. That's just on cases. That's the only way I'm going to even have a chance to touch that shit.
Steven Spielberg rookie. Which one is that, Weedy? Which card is that? Curious.
Paul might know what that.
What I'm kind of interested about is what happened to Old Man Tag. He did a 9 video series with Jeremy over at Sports Cards Live, and he was around. And now all of a sudden, I don't know, like I don't see any tag people anywhere.
They're keeping him on his meds and keeping him away from the mic.
He's in the grading room grading those 40,000 soccer cards that he said 5 years ago would hit the pop report any minute.
Hey.
So Carlos gets old man tag, and then Neo's
a pretty big fan of tag, as you can see.
Tag fucking sucks.
They're the only company that responds to videos about their product when people do comparisons.
I need the Friday clip where they go, damn. I need the Friday.
Two nationals ago, the tag representative there at the tag booth was really friendly with me and did a custom card and slabbed it for Daisy and things like that. So he said they had watched the channel, knew who Dingus and Daisy was, and made a custom card and slabbed it. So I mean, they were friendly with me. I mean, I never have graded with them or anything like that, and they did that for me. I've never mentioned them in my videos. I guess it's a way to get them mentioned in my video because I'm talking about them now, but not, along the lines of being a customer or pushing their product. So
I'm sure they're nice folks over there and everything. Their product is meh.
It's not personal, it's business.
Yeah.
It's business, and business, it's good.
Captain Neo, the first to coin tag bots. But it's even weird that we're talking about them, but there's not the defenders in the chat. Usually they spawn, like they just appear.
You have one on the camera. You don't need them in the chat.
That's a good point. Ham.
What's Ham like tag?
I do like tag.
Ham's a tag bot.
Ham, are you an investor in tag? I feel like there's 700
see somebody,
investors in tag.
Two days ago, I saw somebody on one of the videos that's a big deal somewhere else, just invested in tag. Like a shit.
That's what I'm saying. How many investors are there in tag? Because I feel like I know a lot of I feel like I know a lot of them, and if I know quite a few, then that's kind of strange. Like, how many are actually invested in the company? What does that mean?
From what I know, is the people that are involved in the hobby that give them potential feedback, they don't put it to use. That's the problem. I think old man tag's in the way, and I don't know if he might, get CIA'd or something at some point.
I just remember him saying, like, we've been developing this technology since 1874 and we're ready now to unveil it. It's like,
not for cards from before 1989.
When I buy cards and stuff, and this is because I'm trying to see if this could be foreshadowing or maybe something's going to happen in the future. I'm not really sure, but I'm typically like pretty much by the book, follow. I don't want to say whatever the hobby is doing, like, but the other day when I saw that Joe Montana card in a CGC 9, I would never go out and buy that card. In the past, I would never go out and buy that card in any other slab than a PSA, maybe an SGC, not because I like PSA as a company, but because if I'm looking for, if I'm looking to put in something that's going into my PC, but it's also an investment at the same time, then I'm going to try to go for what I think is going to be the best for my money and is going to have longevity. And so when I was looking at the CGC the other day, I really was going to buy that. And that would not even have been a thought that would have crossed my mind last year. There are some cards that I will buy in an SGC or a CGC case. I bought a Willie Mays rookie in an SGC case. I believe that SGC is super strong in vintage, and I still have confidence in them going forward. Even if that company was to fold, I think the label is still going to be respected. CGC is a legit company. They're way respected in the comic books. They have their issues just like PSA does with sports cards. CGC has the same issues in the comic book field, whether they let some fakes get through or they don't grade something properly, things like that.
Yeah, everyone's got stuff.
Right.
Yeah, you can't catch everything.
I would have never bought that type of card, though, in a CGC case. But I'm starting to think, man, the value on that and how much they were actually asking for that, and the difference now, the multiplier between that card and a PSA. I know PSA is by the market determined to be the best, and that's by the market. I'm not saying everybody's individual opinion. But is there room for growth if I was to invest in cards like that, would I not only be investing in the future potential of the card, but the future potential of that grading company as possibly getting a stronger footing in the hobby and becoming more respected? And then you're getting not only an increase in value on your card, you're getting an increase in value on the slab because you bought those slabs when they're at an all-time low.
Yeah.
And I wonder if I have that, because I often am like, man, if I'm thinking that this way, and I'm usually somebody that doesn't change a whole lot, is there other people out there going through the same thought process and changes that I'm going through? I would like to think that
100%.
there are, because like I said, I'm usually one of the last people to really change like that. But I don't know. And I don't know if people in the comments want to give me their opinion on that or whatever, and I may be completely off here. People may be like, hell no, I would never buy a CGC slab on a 1980s football card. But is anybody actually really, because people can say, hey, I hate PSA. I'm not going to grade with PSA. I'm not going to buy PSA cards. Buy the card, not the grade, this, that, and the other. But until they actually act on it and stop talking on it, like, what are they really standing behind? Not their words, right? So,
well, that's because it needs to change from buy. Are you buying the card or are you buying the brand? Because PSA is the brand. It's just the brand that has right now the most resale.
I get it, but
like
they're more reputable though, Ham.
It is, but it's going to bring other. Again, when you see a card like that in a PSA 9 doing 3K, and then a competitor's card in a 9 at a fraction of the cost, realistically 1/3, you're in your head, you're like, that doesn't make sense.
What was that?
Doesn't.
What was that grading company that was like around forever, but they never were a popular grading company, but people used them?
HGA?
No, before that.
GMA?
I kind of like HGA.
Would you say GMA?
GMA, yeah.
Was that the one that kind of looked like a PSA slab?
Kind of. It's black. It had like a black.
No,
ISA
looks like a PSA.
It was almost like a PSA knockoff, right?
ISA looked like a PSA knockoff, kind of.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is,
wouldn't that be KSA?
So what I'm saying is, GMA never gained a foothold in the hobby because people never respected their grades along the lines of PSA. If somebody was like, oh, that might say it's a GMA 8, but in a PSA slab, that would be a 5 or 6. What are people saying when they look at a CGC card? Right. And it's really different. It's really difficult to tell the difference between an 8 or a 9 or a 9 or a 10. Right. Mm-hmm. And when you're looking at a CGC slab and it's a 9 and it's a PSA and it's a 9, would they say, hey, this is automatically, or I mean, this is a PSA 8. There's no way. They don't grade with the same integrity that PSA grades with. That's, I guess, what I'm getting at. Do people believe that? Can people be, come around to the concept that maybe CGC grades harder or with the same integrity of PSA? And I'm not saying that they don't already. I'm just saying the general consensus throughout the hobby is that PSA grades the best. Even with all their flaws and all their mistakes, they still grade the best. But would there ever be a thing where another label is respected for their integrity to the grade, to the card?
It just comes down to what the hobby itself starts paying for things. Again, like you said, you saw something that was drastically different. You're not the only one that's going to see that. That will keep catching up because everybody's looking for a deal and they're all looking for an angle. And if enough people start doing it, it brings the other brand up as well. That's the good part of having this ability and what could happen. Now, is it ever going to reach the other one? I don't know about that. And if it does, it's going to be a long time.
I see some people are talking about resale value and all that. I understand all that. I buy and grade and sell cards all the time with PSA because of the resale value. I understand that. I'm talking about an investment with longevity.
Check this out.
That looks good.
Homeboy put this is a 1 of 1. Tyler Shuck.
It's sourdough.
Why are you in that make an offer right now?
Yeah.
Is it 2024 or 2025?
Hey, it's not
2024 because it's the XRC.
That's the XRC.
You can get that for less than 50 grand.
50 grand, but he went with the CGC. CGC 10.
Has an XRC, even at a 1 of 1, ever outsold a rookie?
So I bought the tie-dye of this card.
Of
I've got the tie-dye at a 25 of this card for $600.
Yeah.
So
you're good. Don't play with this. I mean, you can offer him 1,200. Offer him
you got that new sponsor? Throw down.
Yeah.
Even
Bring that
Jay,
bad boy home.
You don't ever
Jay
like to
makes a
test
quick-
what their threshold is?
we're looking at
Yeah.
Tyler's shut cards. Jay has a good comment over here
We're going
about
to-
flipping the logic between old and new PSA labels, where people say
Don't
a
get me
newer
started with
PSA
that.
label. You
Hold on, let me get to
I
it.
think PSA, when they changed the grading scale and lied to everybody about it, were in a position they could have done two things.
You bite
you
your
change-
tongue, Ham. You bite your tongue.
I'm just telling you what they were talking about in the round table in the room with Sloth, chained up to a wall. And they were like, listen, do we come out with a pristine, or do we just make our gem mint have to have a pristine quality to it? And they went that route instead of creating a pristine label, when they should have just created a pristine label instead of just poo-pooing on everybody else that graded cards before this, changing
Pristine label
everything
would have
going
been the
backwards.
stupidest thing they ever did.
You mouth your shut. No. They screwed everybody else that has been loyal to them for a long time, that was grading with them, these hardcore vintage collectors. They screwed them by doing this.
MGFS Sports Card says 10 years ago, BGS 9.5s were selling more than PSA 10s, which is true. I remember that. I remember grading with BGS because they were selling for more. But you know why? I mean, one of the main reasons why is because Beckett price guide manipulated the values.
Ooh, Dr. Beckett is snake.
Damn,
Whoa.
Steve.
No, if you
Snake.
look, okay,
Oh,
I have
Send
a
that
Beckett
cease
in
and
my
desist.
closet.
It goes to flipping
Flip
Steve.
this.
Listen,
Those
Hear
are
me out
Steve's
on this.
opinions. That's flipping Steve's opinion.
hear me out on this. Old Beckett magazine used to be what our go-to for a card value.
Yep.
I mean, anybody want to debate that?
Tough
Because
stuff,
you'll be
too.
wrong. That's
I
what
use
tough
tough
stuff.
stuff.
Don't give me tough stuff either.
I
That was-
use tough stuff.
but
I
anyway,
use sports card collectible.
No, it was
if you're
Beckett.
old school and you've been in this for a
Beckett.
long time, Beckett was pretty much the
I use
The
Scry and
word.
Inquest.
okay. PSA and SGC were companies that were in existence. They were grading cards. However, they were not listed in a price guide anywhere. The price that you paid for them was basically put on whoever was selling it to. They said, okay, this is professionally graded. It's worth this much more. Beckett got into the grading game, and not long after they got into the grading game, they started a section in the back of their Beckett magazines that listed graded cards. Okay, never before this did they list graded cards. Not until Beckett got into grading did they decide that they were going to list graded cards. But not only did they list graded cards, they listed them by grade value. And they always listed the Beckett graded card to be worth more than the PSA and the SGC. I remember I had a 1990 score supplement set, and I pulled the Emmett Smith out of it, and I sent it into BGS, and I got a 9.5. And in the back of the Beckett magazine, they listed a BGS 9.5 score supplement Emmett Smith for $600. They listed a PSA for $450, and they listed an SGC for $400. That was the values that Beckett put in the back of their magazine. Now, to me, it's just conflict of interest that you're controlling the market with the pricing in your magazine, and you're also pricing your own company's graded cards in that magazine above the other companies. So to
What
me,
year
I
was
feel
that?
like that's
What year was that, though?
does it matter?
Well, because Beckett sold in 2005. So that's why it matters.
Oh,
'cause it's like,
well, it was a 1990 score supplement Emmett Smith. Like that's
but when did they
15 years
start
before
grading?
2005.
When did BGS start grading? 2002 or something?
The majority of the big cards are early 2000s.
I can tell you that I
through
sent my
LeBron.
cards to Beckett intentionally. I sent my cards to Beckett because Beckett was listing them as being more valuable. I had never graded a card in my life, and my decision to when I just finally decided to grade a card, my decision to go with Beckett came on the fact that they were the most valuable on the market at the time because Beckett said so. Just the same reason why people
And
are
that's the bottom
grading.
line.
Yeah, and people are grading with
And
PSA now
Gold said
because
so.
the market says that they're the most valuable. And that's, for whatever reason, that's fair enough. But what I'm saying is, in the beginning, that was the narrative. That was, I have Beckett's in my closet. I'll do a video on it and show everybody. But I mean,
That sounds like a good video topic for you, Steve.
it's been in a video before. You just didn't watch it.
I've probably seen every
It was
single
in a
one.
video that I shot at my old house because I remember my Beckett's were easily accessible in my older house. My storage wasn't so far away.
Well, I just can't. I mean, in the Rolodex, I don't know if I can think back to like a 5-year-old.
Yeah,
video.
no, I remember putting it in there, and I might even have had a tinfoil hat on. It might have been a tinfoil hat style video. I can't remember, but I remember putting it in there. So people will like to say that Beckett used to be worth more than PSA, and that's a true statement. But I also like to think that they may have been worth more than PSA because it's kind of the way that the prices were written up in the Beckett magazine.
Yeah, it just seemed like all the big cards were being graded by Beckett.
And
not
so
PSA.
even when Beckett magazine was to go away, it's not like the magazine would go away, stop being used for values, and people would just all of a sudden forget. Because I sold my cards on eBay.
PSA clearly took that personally when they bought Beckett. When collectors bought Beckett, they're like, "Hey, remember?"
Hold on a second. What is NH? Is NH Rocker talking to me about times have changed? I'm living in 1990s. Is he not listening to what I'm talking about? NH Rocker, stop typing and listen. What the hell? I know PSA is more valuable. I'm saying back then BGS was more valuable, and this was why. I'm actually saying I don't think BGS was legitimately more valuable.
Come on, NH Rocker. All right.
Hey now.
Dustin, everyone talks about PSA changing the description in term of the centering criteria. Did anyone check out the
He's just trolling now. Now he's saying Beckett boys. So you can go ahead and remove him.
One way. Beckett Steve.
Oh, what are you talking about? I love NHR.
When does your channel rebrand happen?
Huh?
You throw that one
channel rebrand happen. The Beckett Steve.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it might. As soon as I get a sponsorship.
I know Colin. I can get you to hook up.
No.
What TBBW is?
BGS has sent my cards to the wrong address twice, and I had to retrieve them. So there's that. I'm not a BGS fan.
Beckett wasn't owned the second wave by a criminal.
One of them was an Upper Deck Exquisite. One of them was an Upper Deck Exquisite Magic Johnson patch from back, like one of the expensive exquisite ones.
The original MJ.
Like a $6,000 card.
Every time I see you at the National, you were in the Beckett line. I remember that. So you must be.
I wasn't in the Beckett line at the National.
Yeah,
I was this past one.
I didn't get anything graded at the
not
National.
This past one a couple years ago. Remember?
That's when they sent my cards to the wrong address.
Accidents will happen. Beckett Steve.
And you were in that line too, Neil. You were trying to introduce me to the guy that was like their head salesman or head something or whatever.
What was his name?
Hey, Rocker, come up with something better, man. It's old already.
Neo, do you have a favorite Great Lake? Is this like a Michigan Great Lakes question? Is Batman Metal?
I'm gonna go Lake Erie because that's the one I have the most familiarity with.
Is Batman Metal 2025 box at $220 a bad investment?
It's a
We're talking about Batman cards, so
no.
Yeah, CGC was CSG, and that was like their comic grading. Or they were a comic company also grading the sports cards, but then they just put the same label on both, right, Neo?
Say that again.
CGC and CSG. They're the same company, but they had the two separate departments.
They started CSG and they rebranded to CGC.
Yeah. I mean, them as a company is a huge company on the comic book side. It's not like they're a bad, poorly run company.
Coins too. They have a big coin business.
Big
coins too.
So does PSA.
Beckett Steve.
Yeah, it's not like they're a small upstart company like HGA was, or even GMA, who we were talking about.
Isn't HGA
they're a big
back?
company.
Somebody bought them. I think HGA is on the way back.
Boys, we're coming up to 2 hours. It's 11 o'clock almost on the East Coast. I think that it might be time to wrap.
Here's a Carmen.
Land the plane
to 25.
Let's land this plane, guys.
We got there.
Let's keep on fighting.
25.
Oh, you were talking him? My bad.
Yeah, I'm showing a National Treasures card. You're not used to looking at these. Bam.
All right, cool. Wrestling Girls National Treasure cards. Got it. All right. 2 weeks from now, we will be back towards the tail end of March. Oh, wait, hold on a second.
Oh, you slow down, man. It's getting hot in here. You might need to stay up, boy.
Oh, you just got another super chat. But here's the thing: is that if these super chats are coming in on Dustin's channel and not Neo,
no, they're on.
That's
Neo.
wrong because
they're on Neo's. They're on Neo's.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not on.
I was about to say.
They're
I don't see the paper clip.
The highlighted teal color.
Yeah, I got the paper. I see the paper clip. Neo, any chance of West Coast trip this year? Well, hey, David, if you want to throw me $4.99, I can answer for you. I will be there at the end of May if you want to hang out.
Yeah, he's interested in seeing
I only charge
winner.
$2.99.
He's like,
He wants to talk to an award winner.
He is all about Neo, boy.
And not the award giver.
He's just excited.
Highly unlikely for a West Coast trip out of me this year. I literally just bought a raw card at Shipshewana and sent it in for grading. I sent my first card to PSA today in like a year.
And you'll get it back in a year.
Nah, express.
Oh, I was gonna say, unless you paid the up charge.
No, I had to pay out.
You send that Stranger Things card in?
No.
Oh, it's a different one. Okay.
You gotta send it to Beckett. He's
got a piece of the jeans on it, man.
I sent the Anthony Edwards
sweat drops.
Oh, okay. That looked pretty clean.
Yeah.
The jeans?
That's a good investment.
PSA card. 6 incoming.
They wash them after they wore them.
At least I'll know though, because it's express, so I get graders notes, so I'll be able to rage bait a good video out of it if I get a
thank
God. You can tag Nat on Twitter when you get a 5 on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have a grader note to back it up, so I'll
who you send it to?
Huh?
PSA.
Okay.
PSA.
All right, boys. What?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Keep going.
No, I'm gonna wrap it, but go ahead. I mean,
wrap it up.
All right. 2 more weeks until we were back again. We are back again. Keep on fighting the good fight in this villainous sports card hobby that we have.
Revolt.
The revolt. The revolt is coming. It might already be here to some extent, but we know that it's only going to get worse. That's what we've been told.
Beckett
so
Steve.
We will see you back in 2 weeks, friends.
It's all good, NH Rocker. Thanks for the fun. Thanks for the argument.
Steve,
all right.
Beckett boy.
Beckett boy Steve.
I don't like Beckett boy. Beckett Steve.
Yeah, Beckett Steve, not Beckett boy.